So this is how I got my first student for my tuition business. So I mean, I've pivoted 3 weeks ago, and I just started my first lesson way faster than when I was like, I just quit my job and doing the coaching business. Took me a while to just get, people to go through my coaching because I was figuring out. But with this tuition business, number one is very, very fast because like it's super aligned to my, I would say, life goal of opening up a school. So it's a lot faster. And number two is that yeah, it's just having kids, it's very different, right? So yes, I mean it's only one student, but I believe there will be many more to come. There have been some signups, not a lot, but that's fine because it's only 3 weeks, right? So one thing I learned that if I don't reach a goal, I that means I'm not doing a lot more. That's not, I'm working more and also working on the right stuff. So generally what I'm working on right now is creating content and also marketing as much as possible. So how I market is through Facebook and also through other channels as well. But Facebook is like where I get my first, interest or sign up. And these trials are free and they are like for very long, like until May. So it's roughly around 3 months, 2 months. Okay. So I think that's something that I'm very happy about because just to get one student to go through a trial, it's a lot of people will use ads to get that, and I did it organically. So I think that's good. So I just need to work on creating better content, just give a lot more value, that kind of thing. All right. So I just had my first math lesson as well. So it's been a while since I've taught, and the student that I taught was very high energy, and for every time I teach, whether it is in my current business or my previous career, I always implement to have a feedback form because this is how I improve as a person. And the student actually says that her Malay teacher also do that, which I think is amazing. So yeah, how I get this student that is going through the trial lesson is to just reach out to all my contacts, and this contact wasn't someone that I was very close to. It was just like I would say, we didn't even meet physically. We just, I was taking over a class and she was the teacher trying to see and view the class itself, and she thought that I was a very good teacher, and then she had her daughter to join this lesson, which I think is amazing. So I'm reflecting a bit on where I can put a lot more value and which audiences are having a lot more pain. And what I realize in the primary school kind of levels is that a lot of the pain is from primary six, which is because they have to go through a national exam, which is the PSLE. And that is an exam where you go through to go to your next stage of life, which is secondary school. And that's where I say that if you are able to go to a very good secondary school, even though all schools in Singapore are good school, which I agree, but there are the best schools out there as well, which has a lot more, I would say, benefits and opportunities that you can actually have in that school. Because I personally have taught in this very good, not very good, best, or the good ones, I would say, in terms of the secondary school. They have a lot of better facilities and opportunities. So for primary six, what I've heard is that it is very pressuring for the tutors, because I talk to tutors and they don't want to go through or teach primary six because they realize that it is pressuring for them because grades are at stake. Genuinely for me, uh, I don't really, in a way, put myself in a situation that if the students didn't go through or have very good results, it's my fault. Because generally, of course, if you don't know what you're doing, of course it's your fault. But back then, when the stakes are higher, when the money is higher, because back then I was working in a coding boot camp, and we are helping people to get jobs. So I don't know which one is more high stake lah, right? And they pay a lot more money than tuition as well. So the thing is that for me, I don't put myself in a situation where if I don't get the students' jobs, I will be so hurt as a person. I guess that's also one disadvantage, is because that I care about the teaching aspect on how someone understands. And that's more important to me than the result itself. Because if you were to understand, most of the time you will get the result that you want. Whether you want to get a job after a coding boot camp or get very high scores for PSLE, right? So for me, it's like the fundamentals of getting your result is to do the basics very well. And if your basics are not very good, there is a lower chance of you getting what you want, essentially. So I've decided that I want to hold free classes for primary 6 for like a whole year, because number one, I don't want to be tied down to their results, right? You can, like, in a way, you can join my classes. I don't guarantee anything. It's just a supplementary class. So you just go there and just, I'll just do what I need to do and see if that's something that I can gain leads, right? So I'm giving, but at the same time taking. So if some of them were to go through my free classes or even very cheap classes for online, and they do very good, then I can use them as a way to say, hey, because of me or because part of me, they get very good. And that's where I can get better reputation next year. So for me, I don't really think about the short term per se, because since this is super aligned to my life goals, like I'm already thinking next year, even though I'm just starting out. But intuition business, I don't know how you feel generally, to be honest okay. So for the primary 4 and primary 5, these are the, like, technically the target audience that I'm reaching out to, because less stress on me. Number 2 is that it's also a form of income as well. So at the same time, there is also parts of my thinking, because your thinking, I would say, I don't know how to not stop thinking. I like to think because I'm a very curious person. And the thing is that sometimes I'm too curious about what happens if something fails. And sometimes I think about a situation where it didn't happen, but it makes me angry. And that's something that I know that I need to reduce, or even just not say reduce, but let it go. So in a form of, like, you can call it like a meditation or meditative kind of state, where when your thoughts come and go, but you can still be focused on the task at hand. And especially when I'm doing something that's very risky, which is business, failure, it's like always at the top. Not say always, but it will come, because it's natural for me to think about what happens if it fails. And I realized that whenever I think about it, it doesn't serve me. Meaning that if I think about failure, what would I be planning to not fail? If I were to think about how can I succeed, my actions or what I'm aligned to is to succeed. So these two thoughts, the positive and the negatives, what will bring me more productivity, what will be more aligned to what I need to do, is positive thinking. Sounds very freaking cliche, which I know it is, but the thing is that I've learned to be a bit delusional from what reality is to what I want to achieve, because most of the time, people who want to achieve something are generally a bit delusional because it hasn't been proven before for themselves. And for myself itself, I haven't proved myself that I can reach 6 figures, right? 6 figures or close to 7 figures. And the thing is that if I can prove that to myself, then I'll go to the next stage and the next stage. So that's where delusional comes in. And in order for me to do that, there will always be times where what happens if it fails? That thought will always come in. And that is where I have to let it go. I know that I couldn't stop the thought because it just naturally comes. But then that's where I just need to, like, okay, this is a thought, and I'll just move on and just continue with my work. And if you were to look at failure, right, to be honest, like what I've observed is that failure is basically you not doing it. If, for example, a very simple example is that I want to run 10 kilometers. I've run 10 kilometers already, yeah? But I've never run 10 kilometers. That's my goal. So how can you fail in that goal if you have all the time in the world? You don't do it. And that's a failure, right? So failure is essentially just not doing it. You set something, you set a goal, but you're not doing it. That's failure. That's it. So if I don't stop doing this tuition business, then I don't think I will fail until I die lah, right? Or the education business itself. So at the same time, I do also have another thought, which is comparison, which is very normal. It is a very normal thing for a human to think about other people and see how they stand, because that's how we are as humans, because we need to survive. If we don't know what the other enemy is in terms of their strength, their speed, then we will probably die because the enemy will kill us. And that's a very natural state for a human to think, comparison. So the thing is that I do compare, and I'm only 3 weeks in, and I'm comparing to people who have been in the tuition business for many years, right? And the thing is that I have this delusional thought, which I love, that I'm very confident that I can beat these people. Because number one, I'm a very operations tech person. And number two is that I believe that my strength is observing patterns and also just get better at it. Like, I'm a person with just brute force on doing the things that matters and just be very focused on. I think I'm a very focused person because I don't know about it, but I just don't find anything that I care about interesting. So it's like, if you were to ask me, Haris, what do you do? Okay, I teach tuition business, I create content, I run a business, right? An education business. And I run and I climb. That's it. Eat, sleep, hopefully don't grow fat, but that's it. I don't explore other stuff, right? Maybe I explore food, but that's like, that's normal, right? Other than that, nothing much. And the thing is that I always have this competitive mindset where I need to be the best. Even though I haven't attained number one yet, I do have some achievements here and there, but I always want to be the best. I think it started in secondary school. And I don't know, I just like to have that sense of like, I need to achieve. I always go through life wanting to achieve something. And the thing is that I think one thing that I'm very good at is I want to achieve it because I want it. I want to prove myself that I can do it. Because I always have this very common saying, if this person can do it, so can I. And the thing is that, yes, I do want to tell that people, it's very nice to say, oh, I used to be a ex-Google developer expert, I run a 7-figure business. But the thing is that I don't really care about what other people think about it, to be honest. It's just that I need to have status, right? So that I can, get what I want. It's like I'm a very selfish person. And that's why I'm very focused, because I don't really care about what most people want. Okay, sometimes their feelings hurt. Sometimes I care about their feelings and whatnot. But generally, it's like, I think you can ask my friends if you know them that, is Haris an empathetic person? Probably not, because I care about myself too much. And that's something that I think helped me a lot, right? Pros and cons, right? But for me, it's like, I want to be the best. I will cry when I stand on the podium of winning. Like, I will, because like, I know how hard it is to win, because it is very hard. Yeah, I don't know if people have an idea of how hard it is to like achieve a goal, right? My goal that I always want to achieve before I finish my, I guess, national service reservice cycle, meaning that as a Singaporean, you have 10 years that you need to serve after your national service. And during the national service, you have a physical test. And one part of the physical test is a 2.4 kilometers run. I'm 30 years old, and I can still achieve 10 minutes in terms of running. And I know I can go to 9 minutes. It's very hard. Like I've been training for so long and haven't reached that yet. And I know I can reach it, because it's like my fastest was, I think, 10 minutes, 20 seconds, 10 seconds. And it's like, even with that close to a sub 10 minutes like goal, it's like so hard. Like from 12 minutes to 10 minutes, it's actually pretty easy. But from 10 minutes, like it's so hard. And that's something that I am always constantly working on. Even though right now I'm more of a long distance runner, but it actually translates well to short, fast distance. So I like that part of like improving, competing. It's something that I always, in a way, don't look forward, but look forward more, right? It's like when I go rock climbing or when I go running, it's sometimes there is no mood for me to run. But mood, like fuck your mood, right? Fuck your mood. Just follow the plan and just do it to achieve whatever I want, right? So that's something. Yeah. And I would say that comparing myself to other people actually fuels me to, number one, be very confident about myself, because I think I'm above average. I'm someone who can run 10 kilometers per run plus. I think in Singapore there's a lot more, but like if you were to compare the average lah, I'm able to be very close to having a gold IPPT points. And that's something I'm very proud of, something that I'm very confident of doing, and something that I really enjoy. Like, I really enjoy doing myself be above people. And it sounds very, I don't know, bad, but like, it makes me who I am, right? I don't openly say, oh, you suck, right? I teach, right? I don't tell my students you suck. I know better than the students. I can count, I can multiply. I'm very good at math, right? Just say. But I don't tell the students that, why do you suck? I don't do that because it doesn't help them. And the thing is that helping them is an achievement by itself. If I can help them be engaged in the lesson, improve, that is something that I'm very happy about. And then something that in a way reminded me of just getting better is one of Alex Hormozi's video about just getting better and not focusing on the other stuff like the sales and marketing, right? Of course, you need to be good at sales and marketing. But the thing is that as an entrepreneur, for me, I don't think I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs. Maybe I'm very lucky to find entrepreneurs who are not the front facing, meaning that they are very focused on sales and marketing, but they are not really focused on the back end side of things, meaning serving. So for example, if I can sell and market well about my tuition business, I probably have a lot of students coming in. But the thing is that I know that if they come in and the lesson sucks, then number one is that now you have a lot more people knowing that your lesson sucks. So that's where like Alex Hormozi said, like, just focus on being very good at what you do. He mentioned a story where I think he met this person or his friend where he wanted to start a cookie business. I love cookies. Like, you have no idea how much I love cookies. Like, yeah, my friend bakes the best cookies. Anyway, this person have no idea in terms of how to do cookies. And what he did was, number one, he learned from the best. So he asked around, bakeries on whether they can see and maybe do a bit of how to do a cookie, right? So learning from the best, which I've done because my coaching business, I actually learn from a lot of people, and the best, I see the patterns, right? Number two is that he really took his time to master his craft. So for me, teaching itself, I've been teaching for 7 years. I don't think I'm very good to a point. I mean, right now I'm teaching kids, but I don't think like I'm the best because number one, I have feedback, right? It's not 10 out of 10 in terms of like, I mean, for my ratings as an instructor, 10 out of 10, but the lessons, 8 out of 10. I'm like, I need to get 8, 10 out of 10. So how do I do that? There's always room for improvement. Getting back to the story, this friends of Alex Hormozi, he will just bake a cookie every single day, and then he will ask other people to try it out to see whether it is good, what can be improved, what they like, what they don't like in a small little town. After 365 days or 365 batches of cookies, when he officially launched like his cookie business, right? Like, it got very successful. The reason is because he freaking did it every single day. And that's what teaching is to me. I've done it for a very long time. And the thing is that I've never said to myself that, yes, I know I'm a good teacher, but am I the best? I could say so, but that's too biased, right? And the thing is that I always go back to data feedback form where I can see what needs to be improved. And for me, I've grown to another level where I want to run the best education business where someone goes in and actually understands and improve from it. And there's a lot of things that I need to do. Like, I'm still very new to it. And that's where it gives me I would say a sigh of relief, because I'm only 3 weeks in. This is my first lesson. I still got a lot more to go, and that's where I have to just grind it out, create content, create classes, understand, have feedback, improve, and go for it. And that's something that I need to learn, because a lot of the tutors that I'm comparing, they have many years of experience in the subject they're teaching. So that's something that I need to be good at first, right? So my main goal right now is to just, number one, be very good at the craft that I'm at, which is teaching math for primary school. Once there is revenue in, then I have to find someone to actually replace me so that I can explore other subjects as well, getting other tutors to join me on board so that we can grow this business, right? And that's something that I really want to push, because I don't see myself teaching to students right now. Yes, because I'm the person, but I am moving forward to the plan of just having other tutors to teach the best to the students and they improve. But more importantly, I want the students to have the best learning experience and also, of course, improve. But that's the result of anybody who's going through tuition. And I really want to dominate, right? So we'll see how it goes. And that's it for me, to be honest. So I would say, to just summarize, number one is that I used to be very hard on myself, but right now I'm not, because I guess I'm like 30 years old. Like, I've not say I've gone through a lot, but it's like I've gone through lessons that made me a bit more patient and just focus on the inputs rather than the outputs. And that's something that really helped me in terms of just focus on the inputs, because that's something that I can control. And the outputs would take care of itself, right? So that's something that I've realized after talking to tutors, where if they are good tutors, people will recommend other parents to go to their tuition centers. Pretty straightforward. And then for me, the second step is then creating a business, a system where it can consistently help students improve their grades and help them land to their dream school, and also build this like one step towards me building a school, right? Okay, so that's about it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want more of this kind of videos, subscribe down below and comment down what you've learned or what you want to implement in your entrepreneurial business, right? I would say, after doing business for myself, for other people, right, it's never gonna get better as what you think, right? It's never, because you will find more problems and you have to solve it and you have to move on, because that's how you don't give up, you don't stop. See you in the next one. Bye bye.